and nothing I shouldn't. I've written it down. After adjourning our November meeting, I shared with our vice chair that I was thinking we might need a change in leadership soon, and she should perhaps be considering whether she wanted the job. After adjourning our December meeting, some of the board thought we should stay to discuss it. The meeting was just short of 3 hours long and included 2 consequential cases, but a discussion took place. I honestly do not recall much of what was said, but it was off the record and not binding. By tradition and likely by law, our officers for 2025 will be decided as the first order of business at this meeting. Although it was left off at least some agendas, I told Monty that I doubted this was a serious problem since it doesn't involve a case before us and is an internal board matter. As is customary, I will turn this over to our solicitor, Andy Harold, and ask him to recognize me. Mr. Solicitor.
When you say recognize you,
To proceed with the,
for the reorganization?
Yes.
Okay, all right. So basically, as the chairman said, the floor can be opened at this point for the year, for the election of this year's officers. I would start with chairman and then move forward to the vice chairman. And anybody can make any motion for any member to serve. Of course, it would be helpful if that member, upon motion, would express a willingness or unwillingness to serve. So again, I would open it to the members for any motion that anybody wishes to make.
thank you. And with genuine pleasure, I nominate the gentlelady to my right, our Vice Chair, Sina Jenkins, to be chair for the year 2025.
I second the idea.
And that was seconded by Nick.
This does not need to be a roll call vote.
It doesn't need.
Nope.
Okay.
Nope.
All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Opposed? None. Congratulations.
Appreciate you.
I hope you don't end up hating me.
You know, officially, we never even asked you.
Congratulations and best wishes, and I personally believe, it's not official legal advice, but I personally believe that your first official action as chair should be to nominate the vice chair of your choice. May or may not be approved. And I'm available. I'm looking for a job now.
As we discussed, I think I would nominate for it to be Nick. As we discussed at our last meeting,
So you're nominating
Me.
Nick.
Nick? Okay, Nick has been nominated as vice chair, and I second that. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? None. Congratulations,
Thank you.
Mr. Vice Chair.
Chair?
Can we, with the consent of both of you, I will symbolically transfer the gavel to you, or if you would like to use it, the lid, which works for me and has for 3 years. If it would be all right with you, could we keep our seats, and then at the next meeting, you should probably sit next to Andy. In other words, you and Nick can just move down one.
Okay,
Was that all right?
that's fine.
Perfect.
Okay.
So nameplates will be reflective of that by the next meeting. It'll have chair and vice chair on there.
Okay.
Am I taking over now? Oh, you're just nodding his head. Okay. Can you read our first case in for us?
Absolutely. As soon as I get pulled up here, sorry.
Okay.
Okay. The first case this evening is case number 1-2025-Z-V/SE. The applicant is Norma Johnson, and the owner of the property, subject property is East Market Real Estate, having an address, registered address of 2575 Eastern Boulevard, York, Pennsylvania 17402. The subject property is located at 1225 East Market Street, which address is located in the UN1 Urban Mixed Residential Commercial Zoning District of the City of York. Applicant seeks a variance and special exception to permit a group home. First, applicant seeks a variance to permit up to 12 residents in the group home. Next, applicant seeks a special exception to permit a group home, a use permitted by special exception in the UN1 zone. The application was reviewed by the planning staff of the City of York. The planning staff recommends denial of the requested variance and the requested special exception. The case was heard by the City of York Planning Commission on January 13th, 2025. By way of unanimous vote, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested variance and the requested special exception. The record before the board this evening consists of the application itself, a short narrative, the signature page of the deed of the subject property, a map of the subject property, a floor plan of the subject property, and 7 pages of photographs of the subject property, and a letter from zoning officer McMillan.
Do we need to add in the?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry, and thank you. And this evening, the board was presented with a 2-page document which is titled Marcy's House of Refuge, which will be added to the record.
Before we move on, just to clear up some business here, if you have a cell phone, we would ask that you would either silence it or turn it off so it will not interrupt while people are speaking. Ma'am, if you want to step to the podium, please give us your name, the correct spelling, and your address for the stenographer.
Yes, my name is Norma Johnson. The spelling is NormaJohnson. My address is 839 East Philadelphia Street, York, Pennsylvania, 17403.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you can go ahead and start. If you would speak into the mic clearly so we can hear you, and just give us background on what you're asking for.
Yes, I'm asking for a special exception to house 12 girls instead of the average 6 to 8, as we find that we have the room for the capacity in which we're asking for. And our group home, we would like to be able to bring more girls together to build a community, to be able to help more girls.
Could you just give us a little bit of background on what you do at your facility?
Yes, ma'am. We are dedicated to helping girls with challenging backgrounds over their circumstances. We would like to be able to help them to overcome some of the circumstances in which they struggle with. We will provide educational and life skills. We'll provide mentorship programs inside and outside the facility. We'll address family and relationship issues, emotional and mental health issues as well. If you bear with me, I too struggled as a young teen and was in a group home as well. And it was a lady named Valerie Glover who saw me and believed in me and began to mentor me through my mental, physical, and emotional abuse. And that was what changed my life. That's when my passion began. I was able to grow up, have a good life, raise 4 sons, and then the vision happened. I realized I had a passion to take care of teens and to help them have a better quality of life. From that, I began to have many people drop their children off. I'm a community mom. I worked at York City School District and Genesis Home, A New Beginnings for Girls. Now, Genesis Home, A New Beginnings is where I had an opportunity to start over again and have a forever family. I was able to foster a young lady from there, which led to adoption, and that was the beginning of my forever family. I worked at York City School District for 10 years, helping children, and that's where I was able to complete my forever family by fostering a young man all the way to adoption. And after that, I completed my family, but I realized it's still so much more work to do in the community as far as helping teens. And that's when Marcy's House of Refuge was born. There is a need to help young ladies who need support. They are at-risk youth who struggle, and some struggle more than I did back in my day. I'm older, but yeah. So times have changed, but they haven't changed that much. And our children also struggle with like drugs and opioids. My program has put a component together just to help those children as well. We want to help as many children as possible. I would like to also say that the reason we wanted the 12 children because we believe in peer-to-peer support, and we would like to be able to help them with their social developmental skills inside the facility so they can be better able to deal with outside society. Thank you for your time. Do anybody have any questions?
Thank you. Is this entire property dedicated to this purpose?
Yes, sir.
That's a big property.
Yes.
Do you deal with pregnant and parenting teams at all?
Not yet.
And you're a registered LLC, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Are you familiar with the requirements for licensure of a group home in Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Okay, do you have that license yet, or no?
No, sir. We're waiting to get approved to apply.
And how does that affect us, Andy?
What I would do is, I think we've dealt with this in the past, so according to the ordinance, excuse me, I'm sorry, I had this pulled up
Yeah, I was
earlier.
gonna say the same thing, group quarters definition.
Group homes, sorry, hold on a minute. Group homes must provide a license from all appropriate governmental agencies prior to establishing the use, okay? So, they can get an approval here tonight for the special exception and the variance, but they cannot receive a zoning permit until they receive such a, Nancy, is that your understanding? And
Yes, it's a DDAP license, if I'm correct.
Yeah.
Department of,
Yeah,
okay, the acronym. So, yeah, she won't be able to start up and license it as such until she has that.
but I'm okay with moving forward with the special exception and the variance tonight. Again, it may be worth putting a condition that it, no zoning permit shall be issued until such licensing is.
Yeah, you could put the condition on that, just as you put conditions on other things. So that could be a condition in the event that she would not obtain that, then it would be null and void.
I was also gonna add in that, under group quarters, there's a definition, the facility must be directly affiliated with a parent institution which provides for an overall administration of the residents who reside at the premises. Such administration is through the direction of paid professional staff and for supervision of residents by full-time resident staff. So you'll have full-time resident staff in
So,
your organization.
Mr. Holman, that's why it's not under group quarters. It is under a group home. That is why she's going for a variance for more than 8. So group home with 5 or less is permitted in every zoning district. 6 to 8 needs the special exception. That's why the variance is there for more than 6 to 8, because she's not associated directly with, so group quarters are more like being directly associated with a nonprofit, maybe a prison or something of that nature. So that's why it's under the group home, but because the space and the capacity of that home could provide for 12, she's going for the variance for the 12. Do you kind of understand?
Well, I do, Nancy, the group home under 1302.55 does require that the facility must be directly associated with a parent institution.
But what is the piece, though, with the quarters, though? There's something with the quarters, because we had this discussion before, that when people don't qualify for the quarters, there's an extra piece to that. That's why she's going for the variance. I don't have my laptop.
The group quarters basically says a dwelling designed and used for the residence of more than 2 or less than 12 unrelated people. So that's the
Group
definition.
quarters falls under, I believe group quarters falls under group home.
Okay.
But I do, Nick, I agree that the definition of group home,
Because if you continue on, it'll say group quarters shall exclude the following, which is a group home. It says that right in the ordinance, okay? So I'm just a little confused now. I believe what she's after is group quarters for greater than 12. She's applying for group quarters because the definition basically says from 2 to 12, or less than 12, excuse me, and she needs more than 12, so that's what she's trying to get for the variance.
12. I apologize. I don't have my laptop here with me. However, there was a piece of that we spoke with our solicitor on at one point in time, and there was a reason, there was a clear-cut reason, or clear-cut when you put it under group home versus group quarters.
Okay, but again, I'm saying I think she's going for group quarters because group home does not fall under group quarters. It literally says group quarters shall be excluded from the following: group homes, bed and breakfasts, personal care facilities, dormitories, residential halls, domicile cares, boarding homes, halfway houses, rooming homes, and student homes. So I think she's basically trying to get a variance to become a group quarter supervised by professionals and greater than 12, or 12 is what she's after. So
I wish
anyway.
I had my written, I'm going off of the online. I mean, I think the issue is that
I still agree the
I
issue
think
is,
it has to be, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you.
I was just going to say the licensing is important and
Okay.
making it a caveat, and it's just part of the, there has to be some type of administration for this.
Well, the issue is that the application is for a group home.
Ah, okay.
I mean, it says,
Well, then there's a change.
the application was for a group home.
It is for a group home.
Right. So
What was
maybe,
it advertised as?
maybe it just needs to be verified, change to group quarters.
While we're working through this, is there anyone else here that's specifically here for this case? Okay. I'm just curious, so you don't have to, yeah.
Are you speaking for or against it?
I just wanted to kind of clarify just a little bit.
Okay, while they're looking this up, we can continue on, I think. Sorry, that's your
No,
job.
you're fine.
Because Kayla, Kayla, last name Zentmeyer, Zentmyer.
This is,
The application is for a group home, because that is what it's classified as. She would be working under 3800 regulations. So that she would have staff, full-time staff, first shift, second shift, third shift, at least 2 staff per shift, every day, 24-hour care. The children will be placed through surrounding counties. So we would have she would have contracts with surrounding counties to get those children placed. And those referrals would come through like Children and Youth Services, Juvenile Probation Services, and things like that. So it's through foster care, those type of situations. She's not doing like a student housing or anything. They would be the residents at that home for whatever length of time that they would stay there. So on a case-by-case basis, a child could be there for 6 weeks, a child could be there for 2 years. It just all depends on their specific case. So the goal is to either be reunified with a family, find a foster family or adoption, either transition to independent living services, or if they don't successfully complete Marcy's home, then they would possibly move on to another placement setting, like another group home or maybe a juvenile facility or something like that.
So I think a couple of relevant pieces of the a parent institution is an educational, religious, or governmental organization or agency which directly owns or manages real property and may include facilities which serve its resident population such as group homes, dormitories, or resident halls. The parent institution must be licensed, accredited, or registered as appropriate for its use. Okay? I highlight that a parent institution must be an educational, religious, or governmental organization. Okay? So keep that in mind. Now, a group quarters is a dwelling designed and used as a residence for more than 2 and less than 12 unrelated people. The facility must be directly affiliated with a parent institution which provides for the overall administration of residents who reside on premises. Now, there's a couple of concerns that I have here, okay? The property as it stands now is not owned by a parent institution as defined in the ordinance, okay?
Okay.
Now, that could change, okay? But I'm also not sure that, you know, the fact of the matter is that Marcy's House of Refuge is an LLC, a limited liability company, which in Pennsylvania is a for-profit entity, okay? I'm not sure that that meets the definition of parent institution. That's a determination for all of you to make.
So that would be, so Andy,
Yes.
that would be then why it would fall under group home rather than group quarters?
A group, but I thought, okay, then a group home,
So let me tell you how it was advertised, okay? It was just advertised as applying for a special exception and a variance for up to 12 residents for adolescent girls. Actually, the group home and/or the group quarters was left out of the advertisement. So it did not specify which one it was for, but just for a special exception and a variance for up to 12 residents for adolescent girls.
and group home is defined as a single-family dwelling designed and used as a residence by no more than 5 individuals with disabilities as defined and protected by the Federal Fair Housing Act, as amended, who live together primarily for purposes relating to their disabilities as the functional equivalent of a family in a shared living arrangement. Again, I'm not sure that I heard testimony related to disability.
Mental illness.
So.
Was mental illness in there? I didn't, okay,
Yeah,
I
she
didn't,
said-
I missed that part, so thank you for catching that.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if that was,
And that would also come into where they are referred. that would, their mental illness would come in with
Yeah,
that referral.
absolutely. A mental illness is absolutely a disability as recognized. That's 100% accurate, yes. There's no issue
And for what
there.
she described, the young ladies that she is trying to capture into this, they would have those mental issues, whether it's coming from broken homes, whether it's coming from being on the street, whether it's coming from things that happened to them in their past, drug addiction, that all falls under that.
She may even get residents on the spectrum with autism. So, and they might not be low functioning, they might be high functioning, but they still have that diagnosis.
And their letter actually says that, for the record, we aim to address and maintain the physical, social, and emotional and mental health of young ladies ages 13 to 18. So I think that qualifies. And I'd like to throw in that the variance that they're looking for, variance 1, the applicant seeks a variance for group home,
Yes,
6
I
to
agree.
8 occupants to allow up to 12. So their variance is for 12. So I think the whole idea of this quarters thing that, I'm sorry I brought up now, is, well, I'm only bringing it up because somebody put it in a letter back to you guys and addressed it that way. So,
Sorry, but that was, yeah, it just kind of went full circle
Yeah.
there with, back to where we came to the decision of where it actually belongs.
okay.
So we can-
So group home is where it belongs. is what it
Correct,
is.
and then because it's only 6 to 8 for the special exception, that's why they're asking for the
12.
variance for 12.
So we can proceed exactly as planned. Is that what we're concluding here?
Full circle.
Okay,
on point.
all right,
Yes.
sounds
And
good.
just to throw it out there, per the regulations that she will be going by the 3,800, it will be categorized as a community-based group home specifically.
Sounds great.
Okay,
And then the special exception is to make it a group home, so.
Correct.
Got it.
Yeah, so the group home, 5 to 8 is permitted in the UN1 zone under special exception. So because it's more than 5, that's why we're gonna do the special exception, and then a variance to permit more than that.
Okay. So we should do the special exception first so we can get the 12 added on,
I would do.
Do the variance first.
Yes,
rather
yes.
than doing the backwards.
You can do the special exception to approve the use, and then if you want, you can do the variance. You can approve the use without the variance. You can approve the special exception without the variance. That's up to you. That's totally up to you.
Did you ladies have anything else to add?
I don't think so.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, I actually have another question before you sit down.
That's what I was going to say. We're going to open it up to our questions.
Okay, perfect.
Just wanted to make sure. Go ahead with your question.
So I'm looking at the layout, it only looks like there's 2 bathrooms currently, is that correct?
Yes, they will be adding another bathroom.
So it'll be 3 in total then?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions?
Thank you.
Adam?
I'm good.
I guess I have one question, and I'm just looking at, the owner is Frank Gibler?
Yes.
The owner is East Market.
Okay. Okay. And you guys are associated, how?
She rents.
So you're gonna rent it?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Okay.
And you said that you will have staff,
Yes, ma'am.
and you'll be offering, I shouldn't say you will you be offering for other help to come in to help these young ladies as well?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so if this is a rental situation, do we want to include anything about the particular tenant? Is that something we can do or should do?
But if she were to leave,
The use runs with the property.
Right.
I'm not sure, you could put that condition on it. I don't know whether it would fly if somebody challenged it or not.
Okay. Yeah.
I do have a question for you on if we apply a condition on where this is all contingent upon you having a licensing and an approved license, do you have any issues with that?
No.
Okay.
We just needed the approval
So you can get
before
the,
we can,
move forward.
but we're already in the process of the license. They have our documents, they have all of that stuff, so
Okay.
that's already in the works.
Good.
Sir,
I'm okay.
you okay? Okay. Any other questions of the board?
Okay.
All right, so. Does anybody want to make a motion?
Go ahead.
Which one?
Yeah, we got, yeah, it's a special exception.
Uh,
See? Special exception.
for the use of,
Yeah, so
okay, so that would have to be reworded,
probably.
okay. We'll do that.
Sorry, we're
Okay, that one.
mumbling over here.
All right.
Looking at what we got from the City of York Zoning Hearing Board for tonight, it says, move to approve a variance for the group home rather than saying a special exception. I think we need.
I saw that. That's,
Okay.
correct. That needs to be changed to motion to approve or deny a special exception to permit a group home in the UN1 zoning
Right,
district.
okay, thank you.
And then the second would be a motion to approve or deny a variance to permit up to 12 residents of the group home if you approve the special exception.
So the first one,
So I'd go with the special exception first.
okay.
Okay. Okay, I move to approve a special exception for a group home as defined in section 1304.01, comma, 1.04, decimal 001B at the address of 1225 East Market Street in the UN1 zoning district.
And did you wish to condition that on,
And conditioned on on receiving licensing for such an establishment that'll be there, to those
A
words.
second. Oh. I looked at him.
what happens to Die Hard,
Sitting
right?
there, calling for the vote.
Aye.
I gotta get used to this.
Just say aye, aye, aye.
Yeah. Aye.
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 And I.
Okay. Move to approve a variance for a group. Wait a second.
To permit.
Yeah, no, I got it here, okay. Move to approve a variance for a group home to allow 12 residents as defined in section 1304.01, comma, 1.04, decimal 001, be at 1225 East Market Street in the UN1 zoning district.
A second. Calling for the vote. Blake,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
I'm sorry, Adam, I went out of place.
Aye.
Aye.
And I. And that's the last one, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
I just want to
Thank you
say,
so much.
I appreciate what you're doing.
Yes, ma'am.
I wish you the best of luck.
Yes.
And there are many places out there that will be willing to assist you for what you have and what you're going through.
Yes. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you.
I guess the first time we've gotten this,
All right, I gotta get this together.
that was the first time we've had one of these in a while, so thank you. Thumbs up.
That everybody gets situated. No problem.
voice up a little bit for me, please?
And I'm usually loud.
What did she ask for?
She asked me if I could keep my voice up.
Oh,
So I'm usually loud.
well, where'd you hear that before?
I don't know. I didn't turn the mic on.
Is that,
Yeah, I didn't turn it on.
so you're not being, you can be heard in the room, and you're not being heard on the TV
Yeah.
without the, because
So that's why I gotta
that
turn it on.
feeds off the sound system, I guess.
Okay.
Okay, we all set?
Yes, sir.
Okay, the next case is case number 2-2025-Z-V/SE. The applicant is Marquise Crampton of 223 North Hartman Street, York, Pennsylvania. The owner of the subject property is Sonic Properties, having a registered address of 622 Linden Avenue. The subject property is located at 613 West Market Street, which address is located in, I'm sorry, hold on a minute. Yeah, which address is located in the UN1 Urban Mixed Residential Commercial Zoning District of the City of York. The applicant seeks a variance and a special exception to permit a group home. First, the applicant seeks a variance to waive the requirement of off-street parking. Next, the applicant seeks a special exception to permit a group home, a use permitted by special exception in the UN1 zone. The application was reviewed by the planning staff of the City of York. The planning staff recommends denial of all requested variances and the requested special exception. The case was heard by the City of York Planning Commission on January 13th, 2025. By way of unanimous vote, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested variance and the requested special exception. The record before the board this evening consists of the application itself, an owner affidavit, the deed to the subject property, an aerial view of the subject property, floor plans of the subject property, and 15 pages of the subject property. Mr. Chairman.
Thank you. If you could please state your name, spell it, and your address for the stenographer.
Good evening. I'm Marquise Crampton. That's Marquise Crampton, Marquise, and then Crampton is Crampton. My address is 233 North Hartman Street, York, PA 17403.
Okay, thank you.
I think we have a threshold issue here, though, that we should address, okay? In the application, it says, and I'm looking at question number 3, suitability, no additional changes will be made to the property. The house will have up to 12 residents with 1 house manager.
It's supposed to be 8.
8.
Yeah.
Okay, got it, perfect. So no more than 8, okay, perfect. Because I just wanted to make sure that we didn't have an issue with having not advertised that variance that we just went through with the last one. Okay, perfect.
I want to know, well,
Keep your voice up, please.
oh, yeah, sure. How would I go through the process of being actually able to do more if I want to do like 10 or something like that?
Then
Would I have to go
you
through this whole process
the
again?
variance that
Okay.
last applicant just got.
Okay.
Okay, sorry about that.
No, that's fine.
Okay. Do you want to take your time and just give us a little bit of background of what brought you here?
Yeah, well, this is Marquise Crampton. I'm born and raised here in New York City. I've been, getting into real estate for a while since I was very young. I've been helping out some friends and community people and all that kind of stuff. I got into recovery about 3 or 4 years ago, working with the city to kind of, figure out a blueprint on how do you get a recovery house up and running and do it the right way and stay within compliance. So that's what brought me to my recovery home here on 613. We are a home of open doors. We focus on a mixed community, so we don't just focus on people who are coming straight out of Outmate. We also focus on people who have had long-term success in the street and kind of use that brothering situation and community to help out people who are coming out of Outmate patients. Sometimes it can be very hard for them. So what I'm just here today is just to get it, forward. I'm already licensed with DDAP. I have been for some time. I have my network set up. I have everything going right now already. I just kind of need the city to give me a green light at this point.
Okay. Is there anyone else here for this case? Okay. Any questions, board?
And I think you might have put this in the application itself, but your residents will primarily not drive, is that correct?
Yeah, most of them be coming out of either, they're coming out of some kind of government program. So, they're starting off brand new. Their first 30 days, they're not even supposed to have a cell phone. It's a blackout period where, like, if you leave the house, you're hand in hand with someone else because that's the red zone, what I mean? So,
Thank you.
So you would be connected to like some of the county or federal?
oh, absolutely,
To receive
absolutely.
your-
Yeah, they really was kind of like helping me, holding my hand this whole process, so.
Right.
We are, like I said, we are licensed with DDAP. That is the state administration for that.
Okay.
Looking at your application blueprints, is this the way, they're fine, don't, I'm not,
I'm proud of my hard work.
the question I had is this the way it is right now, or is this the way it will be in the future?
That's physically how it is.
That's physically the way it is right now, okay, thank you. And the one variance that you're after is for parking, because there's no parking, right? It's pretty much,
Right. Yeah, I mean,
nowhere to
it's
park.
Market Street.
Yeah.
I mean, there is paid parking on the front, and we have a couple commercial buildings who have their own private parking and stuff on both sides of us, so, well, on the one side of us.
Sorry if I missed this in the application, but have you done any renovations, or do you plan on doing any kind of work on?
Nothing that's like permit bearing. I think the only thing we really had to do, like brick walls, was to install fire ladders. Other than that, it's mostly cosmetic paint, making it feel like home furniture, things like that.
Have you done a lot of cosmetic work, or,
Like in my past, or?
just, yeah, on this property? Yeah.
Yeah, the owner that I work with, he put in a lot of work with it. I mean, it's a beautiful home. Tiles, ceramic tile flooring, everything's been painted. You know,
Nice.
pictures are updated and everything. I mean, it's a really nice house.
Awesome.
Any other questions?
the owner's Sonic Properties, is that something you own, or is that?
No, that is a partner of mine.
Okay,
We own
part-
it and we lease the property.
so you're leasing it from him?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you.
No, I don't think so.
No, I'm done, I think. Anything?
I mean, I guess my only concern is that, like a lot of these, we're getting a lot of requests now from leased properties that are becoming group homes. And, we may have a strong feeling about how the person in front of us right now is going to take care of the property and, run the property. But, these special exceptions and variances go with the property. So when the leasee is done, now the owner has the ability to bring in anyone that they want to run a home like this.
I think I know the solution to that is,
Yep.
well, in my case specifically, I'm DDAP licensed. That's for me, it's not for the actual house. So when I move out, that will be removed as well. So on your side, you guys require that. So even if someone did try that, if it's, you can always revoke and condemn and all that.
Nice, okay.
Yeah, and also, I will also point out that if the property was converted back into like a single-family home, the special exception would go away.
away,
It would
okay.
fall off at that point,
Yeah.
okay?
Okay.
Yeah, so it basically will run so long as it continues to be used in this form or fashion, but if it goes back to a residence, it will fall away. And then they would have to come back for a new special exception.
Okay. That
Yeah.
makes sense.
That all helps, thank you.
Yep.
Any other questions? All right, does someone want to make a motion?
I'll move to approve variance for a group home as defined in section 1304.0. Am I,
Yeah, I'm
what
sorry.
happened?
It's a special exception again. And the wording in here is wrong. But you may want to start with the parking first so we can approve the parking and then go with the special exception for a group
All
home.
right.
Sorry, again.
You're fine.
All right, so I'll move to approve a variance for parking for a group home of 6 to 8 occupants as defined in section 1304.01, comma 1.04.001D at 613 West Market Street in the UN1 zoning district.
I'll second that.
Question, sorry. Do we have to say anything about zero parking? I mean, that's-
I'm going to take care of that in my written
Okay,
decision.
you got it.
I'll clarify that in the written
Okay,
decision.
thank you.
Okay. So, all right.
Second.
Who seconded that?
I second it.
Sorry, okay, let's move. All right, calling for the vote. Blade?
Aye.
Adam?
Aye?
Nick?
Aye.
I keep wanting to say president.
You may say Mr. Chairman Emeritus.
That's impressive.
Or not.
Aye.
Oh, God.
You didn't call me by name.
Mr. Chairman, the former,
Aye.
and I.
Okay, do we need to change the wording here on this special exception?
Yeah, it would need to be a motion to approve a special exception.
Right,
In
yeah.
the UN1 zoning district.
Gotcha, okay. So I'll move to approve a special exception for a group home as defined in section 1304.01, comma 1.04.001A at 613 West Market Street.
I'll second that.
Okay. That was moved by Adam, Nick.
See, you have to.
It's a tough job.
Seconded by Franklin.
And seconded by Franklin, calling for the vote. Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and myself, I. All right,
We appreciate you.
Congratulations, thank you.
congratulations.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Yes, definitely. All right. When you're ready, sir.
All righty. Case number 3-2025-Z-B, the applicant and owner of the subject property is Jules Hector of 647 Linden Avenue. The subject property is located at 222 South Duke Street, which address is in the UN1 Urban Mixed Residential Commercial Zoning District of the City of York. Applicant seeks a variance to permit the use of the subject property as professional office. The application was reviewed by the planning staff of the City of York. Planning staff recommends denial of the requested variance. The case was heard by the City of York Planning Commission on January 13th, 2025. By way of unanimous vote, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested variance. The record before the board this evening consists of the application itself, a letter from zoning officer McMillian dated November 8th, 2024, 4 pages of aerial views of the subject property, 5 pages of floor plans of the subject property, and 23 pages of photos of the subject property.
Okay. Thank you.
Your name again?
Marie Hector, Marie Hector, and we have Jules Hector as well, Jules Hector.
Okay. If you want to take your time and just let us know why you're here.
We own the property at 220 South Duke Street, and we have an LLC as well that will be located in the building. That's why we want to use it as property management and offices, businesses for different purpose in the community and help. And there's 2 buildings located in the property itself.
So what is actually in that building right now? How's it being utilized?
He was a school before. They use as a daycare, and we will not use it as a daycare, and we will use it as offices instead.
Okay. As far as the daycare, are you licensed for that yet?
We not the previous owner of the building. The previous owner of the
Okay.
building was using it as a daycare.
So to clarify, you're not going to use it as a
No.
daycare, right?
Oh, previous.
And there's 2 buildings, right? They're
Yes.
identical, pretty much identical buildings right next to each other.
Yes.
Okay.
And your plan is to put office space in both buildings, correct?
Yes.
But you don't know what kind of offices?
There's immigration services, and there's a high demand in the community. People, migrants are moving in the community, so we want to help them out. So I help them in my capacity, and we will extend that as in the building to rent places with people that want to come in and help.
Now, would you be renting out these office spaces individually? So maybe several different businesses?
Several different businesses.
Is this already broken down into those such offices, or do you still need to do the work?
We need to do the work like cosmetic, and since it was a school, there's classroom, so that can be some cosmetic and to do inside and to make that, office spaces.
So you don't know exactly how many offices there will be?
Not yet, until we have the permit, and we'll decide how much we'll put in it.
So your drawings in here are basically the way it is right now?
Yes.
These are the school classrooms and
Yes.
bathrooms and such? Okay. I had a question back to the zoning officer, though. It was previously a school, kind of a commercial venture anyway. The reason she's here, or they are here, is because it's not approved for office space? Because it's.
Not in that zoning district, and they said, well, when Nancy reached out to Brett about it, she said it's not that close of the same kind of business, so that's why they should have to come back, because it'll be a lot more traffic in a different way. So
Than a
basically,
school.
you know what I mean?
Maybe.
Is there parking available on the property in between
Yes.
both buildings?
Yes, we have parking in the back.
Thank you.
Adam, did you have any questions?
I'm sorry, yeah. Do you expect mostly foot traffic? It looks like you have a ton of parking, but I'm just curious as far as, do you expect a lot of folks to arrive in vehicles, or will most patronizing these businesses be on foot?
We have several parking in the back, so
Yeah.
it won't be a problem. for parking.
Yeah, no, I know it doesn't look like it's going to be a problem at all. I'm just curious as to whether it'll be mostly foot traffic or a lot of vehicles, or
It can be both.
mix of the two, okay.
In your head, do you have an idea how many offices you will have? I mean, the reason I bring this up is it's usually the board gets a diagram of what you want to do. We're kind of giving you carte blanche if we approve tonight, you can do whatever you want. And that's not the way it normally works. So, I mean, it would have been nice to say, you took the first floor and you divided it up into 2 rooms and there's the 2 offices, rather than just showing us the schoolrooms.
They already divided like the first floor and the second floor, so the space are already much divided, like 3 rooms on the second floor for the first building, and the second floor is like 4 rooms and a kitchen and stuff like this in the first building. It's pretty much the same for the second one.
So you've already started dividing it up already.
They already divide as a classroom.
Okay. So then how many rooms are there for offices if you've already done the work? And you can take some time if you want to figure it out. Because I'll tell you, that's my biggest problem right now, is I feel like I'm just saying, here, with no architect's drawings or anything, the zoning boards are ready to say, you're approved for whatever you want to do with these buildings and office spaces. And then you can make your office spaces 10 feet by 10 feet and have 100 of them in each of these buildings. And I'm just saying, it's just not normally done this way.
Real quick question is, if we approve this use, it sounds like it's going to be used, there's going to be a lot of immigration services and things like that. Is that what I heard?
There will be part of it that doing that, and
Okay.
we have an LLC that's a property management for rental and stuff. So all will be. That's why we say various business type.
And is that not sort of part of what the zoning, the city zoning officer and his crew do? I mean, when we approve for the use, we're essentially saying, hey, yeah, you can you can rent this property for a bunch of different businesses, and then you guys go out to make sure that that's all legit after that, right? So, I mean, is it really our responsibility to understand fully all of the businesses in there? Or?
Not sure, but I know that that's all will come up in their inspection before they can even open the business. They will have to have all the office space mapped out, everything needs to be set in. If there's too much, then they will have to get rid of some stuff on floors if they overcrowd the place and everything like that. So all that will be worked out with their inspection.
That makes
So
sense.
for the inspection, at that point, they would have to be determined how many office spaces.
Yeah, because they have to be ready for open when they get that inspection.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, that makes more sense.
It sounds to me as though this is a work in progress, and I'm not sure, I was trying to think of who they might consult with for some guidance. The city used to, Monty, do you know if the city, I guess, the higher-up Department of Economic Development used to have something called a new business packet that they gave out to applicants who had an entrepreneurial urge but didn't really have the knowledge or background or experience to match it.
Okay.
And I'd feel comfortable cutting them a little bit of slack and leeway to develop more details as they get further into it and find out just what the demand is. And you know, I think there are some places, I forget what they're called, workspace type things where they don't build earthquake-proof standard partitions. They're more movable, so that if
Oh.
somebody wants,
Yes.
well, I'd like more space than this, I'd like twice the space, you know.
So you're talking about like the soundproof
Well, we could
partitions.
remove a partition fairly
Yeah.
easily, and you'd have the amount of office space that you're looking for.
Exactly. And we're starting to see a a growth in places opening up and they're having 6, 7 different businesses in there because people don't want to rent a whole building. They just want to rent like a room or even a cubicle. So, and then with them coming in trying to do the same thing, all their permits and everything had to be put on hold until they get the permission from the board, or if they get granted the permission to go forward on fixing up whatever they want to do, how they want to make the rooms, the office sizes and everything like that. So a lot of their stuff is on hold until they get approval or disapproval from tonight.
I guess what I was thinking was that this might really meet a need, you know, like the Council of Churches' former headquarters right in my neighborhood, where they had a nice-sized sanctuary that they always made available to start-up churches, and some grew and got a place of their own, some stayed for a while, and small startup entrepreneurs who need office space, but, well, they couldn't afford a whole floor in a fancy building, but they might have a starting space with something like this.
We do have something in place for that, and people are waiting for us to get the permit too.
Okay.
And it's strictly office spaces? It's not going to
Yes.
be a convenience store in there and a
No.
hairdresser and- Okay,
No.
got it.
All right. You got any more questions? Any more questions, Franklin?
No.
Okay. Someone will make the motion.
Let me see if I can do that in the case of glasses. In the case of application number 3-2025-Z-V at 220 South Duke Street, I move to approve the variance for various business offices in Section 1301.4.03.002. I think that's enough.
Okay.
I'll second.
So it was moved by Franklin and seconded by Nick, calling for the vote.
Adam.
Adam, I apologize.
They're both 4 letters.
Calling for the vote, Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and mine's is aye as well. All right.
Thank
Good
you.
luck to you.
Thank you.
Bonsoir.
Oh, you're being by me. Okay.
Just try. I think it fit. I think it was right. It wasn't vulgarity anyway. I have a Haitian store across the street from me.
Oh.
And this is 500 off of West 9th Street.
Oh, okay. All right. All right,
All
sir,
set?
when you're
Okay.
ready.
All right. The last case this evening is case number 4-2025-Z-V/SE. The applicant and owner of the property is Kenneth Ramos of 405 Greenfield Street, Manchester, Pennsylvania. The subject property is located at 175 Lincoln Street, which is located in the UN2 Urban Residential Zoning District of the City of York. The applicant seeks 3 variances and a special exception to permit a multifamily dwelling conversion from a different use. In addition to the requested special exception, applicant also seeks variances related to the general criteria for multifamily dwelling conversion from a different use, maximum density, and off-street parking. The applicant was reviewed by the planning staff of the City of York. The planning staff recommends denial of all requested variances and the special exception. The case was heard by the City of York Planning Commission on January 13th, 2025. By way of unanimous vote, the Planning Commission recommended approval of the requested variances and special exception. The record before the board this evening consists of the application itself, a redevelopment agreement dated May 24th, 2024, deed to the subject property, plans for the subject property, an aerial view of the subject property, and 8 photos of the subject property.
Thank you. Mr. Ramos?
State your name, please.
Kenneth Ramos, KENNETHRAMOS.
And when you're ready, could you go ahead and explain what you were looking for?
I kind of got attached to this property through owning the property next door to it, 177 Lincoln Street. And so I had bought that property off a friend of mine and was seeking like kind of like an investment property, fix it up, rent it out, help people with some apartments and make some money off of it, you know. In the process of me doing 177, 175 came available through the city because it was an abandoned property next door to it. And we have a vested interest, we have an adjoining wall in the middle. So I kind of got, you know, entwined with the 175 Lincoln Street property, and it was like, hey, I'm here already, I might as well, you know, get this one that's attached and then make it like a joint venture. That's kind of what I did. But, so I got everything submitted through the city, the blueprint, the clean out, stabilization of the property so that way it wouldn't be no threat to the community as far as no falling over and hurting anybody. And we're at this phase now whereas we got the blueprint for the rebuild and we just got to get the approval from you guys so we can move forward with the rebuild, and then it'll be 2 properties side by side identical. But the first one, another reason, the 175 is a 1 unit, the 177 is a 2 unit already. So I'm like, if it's the same identical size of the properties, we might as well just make this one as a 2 unit as well and get more affordable housing, apartments for people, you know. Because for one family, it would be really kind of big, a big, huge, humongous one family, the size of the building, you know.
Okay.
And people not really into the big houses no more. People want more compact, smaller apartments so they can pretty much, you know what I mean, be more manageable.
Board, do you have any questions?
Give me a second. So this house was completely devastated by fire?
Yeah, awesome.
Okay. And what is the condition of the property now? Is it still?
Okay, the most recent picture, I'm assuming you got these pictures up in front of you guys?
They look like this, sir?
These?
Yeah, perfect. So that one with the dumpster, I just put the dumpster there just to show that I wasn't just taking the debris and just taking it anywhere. I was actually paying for a company to come in and haul it out the proper way. So the one with this one is pretty much where the stage where the property is at now. Completely demoed, out and empty and ready to be rebuilt.
So it's just a shell?
It's just a shell now, yes.
Okay.
And the brick structure on the one side of the wall that's being held up, that's going to be kept there until it's...
Well, it was actually, before the brick structure was 3 stories high, and we took 2 layers down
Okay.
and kind of repaired it. I don't know if you can see where it look like it's like some stuff like podged on there, concrete, but that kind of like seals it and kind of helps repair the brick.
Okay.
But we had to bring it down to meet the requirements for the city,
Oh, okay.
for the safety, for the communities first, you know what I mean? So we got it down and kind of like got it down manageable and repaired it.
The property next to, not the one you own on 177, going the other way, where the supports are, is that an alleyway going through there, or is that
Yeah,
or is that just a walkway?
that,
Like a walkway, right?
It's more of a walkway, it's not for cars or anything?
that picture right there is actually how the wall was originally. See how it was 3 stories
Yeah,
with the braces?
right.
Yeah.
but now it's no longer that high.
Okay.
It's down to that picture that I just showed you. This would be the best way of showing you. You want me to bring this up? This would be the best way of showing you. So it's down like, almost like 2 stories down worth of brick. It's a lot of brick. You can see the dumpster's full.
Yeah.
Capacity, like you can't put no more brick in there.
And this was a single-family home.
It was zoned as a single family,
Yeah,
and the one right next to it is zoned as a 2-family, and I'm like,
yeah, yep. I'm very familiar with this area. Used to walk
it's
the
a nice
kids.
neighborhood. I mean, everybody, I know all the neighbors. I talk to the neighbors regularly. I help them out, and everybody's like thumbs up. Everybody's like they ready to get the eyesore out of there.
Oh, yeah. I bet.
Yep,
And he's had some stipulations put on by the city that he had to come up with, and he has meet the mark on everything that we asked for.
appreciate what you do.
Nate?
I can't be affording to waste my time.
Yeah.
Nick, did you have any more?
Just, I mean, one of the, parking always is an issue, and that's why I was asking about that alleyway. Who owns the walkway between the 2 buildings?
This- you
Is
talking about
that
this
part of
right
your
here?
property, or is
Yeah,
that?
there's a fence
Yeah,
there,
there's a
correct.
fence.
There's a fence.
Fence, okay.
Yeah, it's like a walkway on our property, and then there's a fence, and then there's a walkway on.
I was just looking for like, hey, maybe there's parking there or something.
It's kind of like a,
Okay.
it's kind of like 6 houses on that street. It's a small street. It's Pershing, then it's 2 houses, it's an alleyway like that. Then it's 2 more houses, alleyway, 2 more, and then that's it. It's a loop that runs around through Parkway. So everybody in the front pretty much has parking. The in-houses have the advantage because they got the length of the properties to park.
On this side.
But on the Pershing Street side, it's like maybe enough for about 8, 10 cars to fit on the Pershing Street side. So I guess that would be like overflow. That's a public street. I don't know if that's a snow route or not, but.
Looking through the one,
And the school is right in front of it.
Is it school or is it a park?
The school is right in front of the property, like,
That's what I was questioning.
one day we was out there when they came to pick up the dumpster, and the kids were in the yard, and they was like fascinated. They all was just like 30 kids. I was like, wow, that's something nice that, you know what I mean, they was able to see for the day. They seen them come haul the dumpster away.
Franklin?
You, most likely, you have an idea what, this is not going to be a cheap project.
Yeah, I'm finding it out the hard way. Trying to find it out the hard way.
So I'm thinking you probably, it's probably in your plan that, if you have 2 apartments to rent instead of a whole house, most owners would say, well, that's good, that'll give you a little more rent.
Right.
And for what you're undertaking, yeah, I admire you. I mean, so many times when something terrible happens like this, and everybody says, well, somebody ought to do something, and you're saying, well, we'll do it. Wow. And you're okay with the RDA, because I saw something in a date, the agreement you signed with them, I think it was dated something like May 25th or something like that. And it seemed as though you were given a certain time period to get the project underway or done even.
That's what Monty was saying, that everything that the city had given to him.
Yeah, he had to tear some of the stuff down and restabilize some of the walls before he can go in there and start any work to build it back up. So he had to meet all the qualifications that Buffington put on him and the RDA put on him for him to keep moving forward. And since he's done all that, now he's at the point where now he's ready to start building up and putting the house back intact.
I don't know why at first I was a little bit uneasy about this, but I thought, well, we're being asked to approve 2 units in this empty hole. But then maybe a month or 2 ago, we were asked to approve 62 units on an empty field.
Yeah. out.
So this shouldn't be
Should be a lot
anything.
more easier than that.
Okay.
Sure you don't want to put 62 on?
Is there anyone from the audience who is here for this? Okay. Any more questions on the board? Okay, does anyone want to make the motion?
I would. Oh, and I wanted to mention on the parking, a friend of mine was discussing, I was discussing this with a friend of mine, and he said, well, some friend of his used to live on Roosevelt Avenue, and when he couldn't park on Roosevelt, he could find a parking space on Lincoln Street. So that might, I'm not saying that it would be a magic total solution, but apparently at that time it wasn't. And the parking is the one of the four variances that I think is of practical meaning to me. In the case of application number 4-2020. What?
Oh, okay, I'm sorry, go ahead. I apologize. You're good, sorry.
That's all right. And thanks again for turning my light off. In the case of application number 420-2025-C-SE-V regarding the property at 175 Lincoln Street, I move to approve a variance to the definition of multifamily conversion from a different use as defined in section 1304.01-1.02.002A.
I second. Okay.
Calling for the vote.
Calling. I was getting there. Calling for the vote. Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and I say aye.
Regarding case number 4, 2025-Z-SE-V regarding 175 Lincoln Street, I move to approve the dimensional variance for multifamily conversion from a different use found in section 1304.01-1.02.002.
Calling for the vote. Blade.
I'll second.
I'm sorry. Sorry, I jumped ahead. Have a second by Nick, Adam. Calling for the vote. Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and I say aye.
Again, in case number 4-2025-Z-SE-V, I move to approve a variance from the required off-street parking spaces. That's enough.
I'll second.
Okay. Calling for the vote. Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and I say aye.
And in case number 4-2025-Z-SE-V regarding 175 Lincoln Street, I move to approve a special exception to allow the multifamily use. That's it.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay. Calling for the vote. Blade,
Aye.
Adam,
Aye.
Nick,
Aye.
Franklin,
Aye.
and I say aye. Congratulations. Best of luck to you.
Doing what you do. Big project.
And I live only about 4 blocks away, so come spring, I'm going to drive by, and
Yeah.
I look forward to seeing some change there.
You seen it in the beginning,
To
right?
adjourn us.
Did you see it right after the fire and all that?
I'm sorry?
Did you see it after the fire? property, did you see it?
No, no, you know, it's kind of a nice, quiet side street, and
Oh, man.
I know where it is, but I don't know if I've ever driven on it. I may have,
Around there.
yeah,
When that little, it's like a little side street.
yeah,
It'll look nice when we're done.
good.
You're welcome.
Yeah, this is my wife Trina right here.
Good luck.
Madam President?